Hi everyone, this is Shivani and I'm delighted to host another LeadSquared webinar again. So a very warm welcome to everyone on the LeadSquared Sales Week. So this is one of a kind. We've done multiple weeks in the past with BFSI, education and so on, but this is the first sales week that we've taken up and I'm really excited to be here. We have several interesting sessions coming up this week starting today. So I just wanted to pull that up and tell you what to expect for the rest of the week. So on 13th, which is today, of course, we are moving with the world, digital acquisition through LinkedIn and Instagram. And our speaker Chitra is waiting for us on the side. So she will come on in like literally 30 seconds. Tomorrow, we are talking about the right approach to sales automation in 2022. That is with Sandeep from Outplay. On Thursday, we will be discussing sales goals and productivity tracking. So that is with Rohit Gupta from College Vidya. And last but not the least, on Friday, we will discuss the most effective sales strategies, how to employ customer backward approaches with Vijay Rajagopal from Amazon Pay. So here I have Chitra Singh, who is going to take us through the session today. And personally, I have to say that being in marketing, it is one of my favorite sessions for the week because I'm super interested to know how can I leverage Instagram and LinkedIn better. So with that, Chitra, it's all over to you.
Thank
Just a
you.
couple of points. One last thing before I go. There's a chat option for everyone who's asking questions. So please put your questions there. Anything nice you want to say, we are let's have an open, engaging discussion. So please put all your comments there. There's a question tab as well. So yeah, I do see a lot of people engaging. So we really like that. Please keep that up. And any questions, put it there as well. We also have several interesting polls which we will come across during the course of the session. Okay, enough said. Chitra, all yours now.
Thank you so much, Shivani. Thank you for starting this off on such a lively note. And I'm waiting for you to share the slide deck so that we can start off. In the meantime, hello and welcome to all who've logged in on time. Thank you so much for attending this session. And as usual, ladies lead in sales too. And I'm so happy to be one of the lead panelists here at Lead Squared. And thank you so much to Lead Squared as well as Shivani and Kartika for inviting me here. Really excited, looking forward to starting this session and also to your questions and a lot of engagement and participation. As you all know, sales is not something which we can learn. It's not theory, it is more practice. So the more questions you ask, the more you will learn and the better you will get at selling. So with this, let's just move on. I will introduce myself as we go through the slides because, as you know, a salesperson never loses an opportunity to promote their brand and talk about their personal brand. So here is a little more about me. By passion, I'm a community founder and nurturer. I'm the founder and chief mentor at SalesWomentoring, which is India's only community enabling women to succeed at selling. It is India's first such community. Our purpose is to mentor women to succeed at selling, and mission is to enable 1 million women to sell with confidence. By profession, I'm a career banker, a sales mentor, inspirer, podcast host, also a blogger, and I've spent over 3 decades in some of India's largest banks like ICICI and Kotak, and I've led and scaled sales teams there towards phenomenal sales performance. My energy pills or happiness pills, I call them, are my daughter Stuti. I love singing, running, traveling. My inspirations are Michelle Obama and Oprah Winfrey. So let's move on now to my passion and my purpose, the community. Shivani, if we can go on. This is about sales mentoring. Very briefly, I will tell you about what the community is doing and the problems we are addressing. The problems are three. The fact that there are very few women in sales. At entry levels, we have about 40% representation of women in sales. But as we move on to leadership roles, the percentage of women becomes lesser and lesser till we hit only about 10% sales leaders. Even in my 3 decades of sales, I've always found myself to be the only sales leader who is a woman in the room. The second problem is that there is lack of an adequate talent pipeline of women wanting to join sales or proactively choosing sales as a career, because sales is not viewed as a suitable career for women, too challenging, too much pressure, and so on. So there is not enough women wanting to join sales. There are not enough women in sales, and out of those who join also, very few make it to leadership positions. The third problem we are addressing is that even women in business, whether solopreneurs or entrepreneurs, shy away from selling and often delegate it to others. They look after product or research, design, and they leave sales to others. This is what we want to get rid of, and we want more women in sales, and we want them to rise to leadership positions and, of course, succeed in selling. How do we do it? We do it through our three pillars of the community, which is through mentoring, both group mentoring and one on one mentoring, through our learning sessions, which will take place through webinars, both virtual as well as physical learning sessions, and of course, our networking sessions, which are one on one face to face meetups. Our positioning, I already talked about. This is India's first women only sales focused community. And with this, let's dive straight into lead gen on LinkedIn and Insta, because I know all of you are waiting to hear about how we can get more leads and how we can acquire more customers using social media. So this is, I want you to tell me in the chat, how do you really feel about acquisition and lead generation? Is this how you feel? I really want you to start engaging now because the monologue is over, I assure you. Uh, Enough about myself. Now it's all about you, all of you who are listening. So is this how you feel? Why don't you put it in the chat? The expectations from organizations, and I can see people typing, yes, I'm waiting. So the expectations from organizations and of course our bosses and managers is that we'll pull the leads out of our hat just like a magician pulls out a rabbit. But the reality is actually this. We are tearing our hair out and we are wondering, where are the leads? Where are the leads? Where are the leads? Okay, so we are here to discover together where we can get leads and how we can convert them using LinkedIn and Instagram. And I'm talking from personal experience here, not really theory, because for the last 1.5 years, I've been an active user of LinkedIn as well as Instagram. And I have posted every single day for the last 1.5 years, every single day on LinkedIn. And I have learned a lot. That's what I'm here to share with you my learnings and my experience. And of course, to hear your comments on that. So if there are any questions up till now, yes, I see that a lot of people are saying it's enjoyable, you get to learn a lot. Yes, the best salespeople are those who are always curious and always learning. You got it right. So we move on. I think all of us know this. It's highly theoretical. What is digital customer acquisition? This is the process of attracting, acquiring new customers through social media and digital engagement channels. And of course, the digital channels include SEO, email, your website, podcasts, and social media. We are not here to talk about SEO, email, webinars, etc. I leave that to the marketers, especially the website and SEO. I don't want to step on their feet. But we'll talk about social media, especially LinkedIn and Instagram. And one point I want to make here that though we can use LinkedIn and Insta as lead generators or lead feeders, the more touch points there are through the sales process, which means we touch base with the customer through emails, through links to our podcasts or events. The more touch points there are, the more successful you will be in converting the lead. So that's one thing to keep in mind as we go along. I'll be sharing more. Yes, Shivani, we can. Why social media work for lead gen? All of us know that our primary job on all social media is to find and connect with our target audience, to reach the decision makers, especially the C-suite, to showcase our products, to engage with them, to connect, of course, to build our brand, and of course, to be visible, to get leads, referrals, and finally conversions. And if you're a businessman or an entrepreneur, you're also looking for collabs or partnerships or alliances. So Shivani, I think it's time now we did the first set of polls. Are you ready with them? If we are, actually, we should find out how many of
Yeah,
you are, yeah. So how many of you are in B2B sales? How many of you are in B2C selling? And how many of you are running your own business or are entrepreneurs? Because that will help me tell you more about what will interest you. So you're putting in the chat, okay?
yeah. So there's a question on the poll tab. If you all can all go there, and you can pick multiple answers there. Okay, it could be B2B and self. It could be B2C and self. So I've given a bunch of options. If there's an option that doesn't relate to you, please put that on chat. But I think most of you are saying it on chat. So okay.
Okay,
Whatever.
great. No problem.
Yeah.
I think tech has that advantage as well as disadvantage, right? We
Yeah.
cannot talk face to face, but we can chat face to face. So I see only one entrepreneur, Ketan Parekh, welcome. But I see most of them are B2B, some say B2B as well as B2C. Very interesting. Sidhu in sweets. Nice. I'm an agent. Okay, I see that there's a mix of B2B and B2C, which I'm really happy about because banking, I have dealt with both B2B as well as B2C and very few entrepreneurs. So our focus is going to be on B2B. A lot of these will work for B2C also. And in case you have any questions, the B2Cs, please, we can always talk about that in detail. Okay, so now we move on to why LinkedIn and why Instagram, which will be there on the next slide. Shivani seems to have disappeared. Okay, she's there. Okay, so why LinkedIn and Instagram? This is another thing I think all of us know that Instagram has more than a billion users, LinkedIn has 850 million members. Of course, it is the fastest growing professional community in the world today. In Instagram, contrary to what we think, 20% of the users visit at least one business profile every day. It is more B2C. Users are a younger lot, 18 to 34, and it is more suitable for the highly visual, aesthetic products, auto, fashion, beauty, travel. And people use Instagram a lot to view pictures of the products they want to buy. So 50% discover new products on Instagram. And for those of you who are women here, you'll relate because I know that we do a lot of research on Instagram on beauty and health products. In contrast, LinkedIn is more a B2B. The profile is of an older lot, senior execs, 35 to 65 year olds, who are most often decision makers in our target companies, are 13% of LinkedIn members, which means that you have more than 100 million people who are senior executives who are on LinkedIn and they visit LinkedIn at least once a day. I visit LinkedIn 20 times a day because I'm an obsessive LinkedIn user. But most of them do visit LinkedIn at least once a day. 44% of the users have annual incomes greater than $75,000, and 58 million companies, 200 countries, 65 million decision makers, which means that it is the right place for us to find and influence, engage with, and connect with our decision makers. And all of us know that B2B selling involves at least 11 decision makers. And 40% of the deals in B2B are lost because of status quo or no decision. And this is the best place where we can engage, showcase, talk about ourselves, build our brands, and as well as that of our companies. As we go forward, thank you so much for the appreciation. We'll also see how we can. I think we'd just like to go back and highlight one small point, that is the visit to lead conversion ratio in LinkedIn is 4 times that of Facebook, and the source is HubSpot. And over 80% of B2B sellers say that LinkedIn is the most effective lead generation channel for them. Another interesting trivia here is that can someone tell me what is the most followed hashtag on LinkedIn? Anyone? Most followed hashtag. It wins hands down. The next one is just half of that. Most followed, no hiring sales, no. It is hashtag India, so yay for India. Hashtag India with 68 million followers. And this, I think, deserves a clap, yeah, from all of us. And the next is Bill Gates, who is a poor second with only about 35 million followers. So Bill Gates is a second here. And the most followed company, anyone can tell me which one it is? These are all trivia, but interesting trivia nevertheless. Most followed company? No, it's not LeadSquared. Sorry, Shivani. Yes, it is Google. Naveen S, you've got it right. 25 million followers. Yes. And another interesting thing is that the demographic profile for LinkedIn and Instagram is diametrically opposite. LinkedIn has more male subscribers or members, and uh, face Instagram has more females. So in LinkedIn, the proportion of male to female is 53 to 47, and in Instagram, it is diametrically opposite. And the most followed hashtag on Instagram, can somebody tell me what's that on Instagram? I already gave you a hint that the proportion of female users of Instagram is much higher. 60% are female. Friendship, fashion, yes. All stereotypical beauty, no, no, no. If you get the answer to this most followed hashtag on Instagram, you will know what women want, which is the answer which a lot of people are looking for. Men scratching their heads. What do women want? Yes, yes, you got it right. Who is this very interesting person? Gopen Bona. I hope I've got your name right. Love. Hashtag love. Absolutely right. Hashtag love. Arushi, thank you. Teja, thank you. Very intelligent. Yes, you've got it right. You'll go far. Okay, we move on. We move on. Thank you so much. Keep showing your love and appreciation. You also have hearts, I think. You can share some love through hearts. Okay, so thank you so much. Thank you. I'll tell you about my community journey on LinkedIn. As I told you, I have posted every single day without break, without fail, through COVID, through problems, emergencies, sicknesses. My team fell ill, I fell ill. I mean, I don't know what all happened, but we posted through it all. And now our community has 1,000 plus followers. My personal handle has grown from 800 followers to more than 9,000. So that is kind of growth I've seen with LinkedIn. I'm sharing this with you, not to talk about myself, but to tell you how powerful a medium LinkedIn is and how powerful it is to get followers and then convert them into paying customers, or in my case, paying community members, because my community members are my customers. Every single member has been acquired organically. I've not done Google ads, I've not done LinkedIn ads. Today we have more than 500 members, 30 mentors, and I've had more than 50 virtual events, many lives on LinkedIn as well as Instagram, and they really work. And all my mentors, I have got on board and convinced them to join me with nothing. I had no website at that time, nothing. And it was just my profile on LinkedIn and, of course, the sales pitch I gave them about the community. Now we have 3 alliance partners, 1 networking partner, 1 community partner, and also a career partner, which helps us in getting career opportunities for women. I've got 5 corporate leads, 5 mentoring opportunities. And of course, I already talked about the 30 mentors and the 50 speakers who all I got online. So this is my personal story on LinkedIn. And now we'll move forward to how we did that, how I did that. So I think it's the right time to stop and ask you now if you have any questions, and I can address them through the next. Could you please share your handles, Vividha? They are there in the end. And I will also show you my profile. What kind of posts attract interest? We are going to talk about that shortly, Arushi. We will talk about it. Right now, we're just getting started, right? So we are assuming that everybody is not yet started. So I just want to know how many of you are using LinkedIn. We'll do the second poll for your lead generation. Say yes or no. She's already put a poll, I think. Yes, 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 yes. I must start with all of that. So no, yes, 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 yes. Okay, so you have more yeses than no. Okay, how many of you are using for brand awareness, not for conversions? How many of you are using Instagram? Madhuri says no. How many of you are using Instagram? Yes, 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 yes. So I see a lot more no's here. So people do believe LinkedIn works. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. So I see that a lot of you are using it. And the first thing I think we all need to understand before we jump into LinkedIn or Instagram, which is why I put both, because this applies to both, is to understand who is your ideal customer, right? What is their ICP? And then optimize your social media handles. We do the reverse. We put our social media, whatever we want to put in our taglines and everything, and then we go on to understand our audience. When you're applying for a job in a company, what do you do? What do you do with your resume? Anybody? Anybody? It says say something nice. What do you do with your resume when you want to apply for a job in a company? Storytelling, haha. You customize. You got it right. You got it right. Tweak it for the company. Update it. Absolutely. Right. So update first and shortlist is the wrong way. Of course, you have to have a skeleton or a framework, but first you need to understand who is your target company, and then you need to customize your resume. Similarly, in social media, you need to understand who is your ideal customer, who is your decision maker, and then optimize your social media profiles. the personal ones, in order to address their needs, their perspectives, and their problems. So it should be made from their point of view. You have to clearly understand your business's unique value proposition and make sure that your personal handle is in sync and in line with the messaging and brand voice of your company. And I call that the CVA formula, which means you have to be credible, visible, authentic. Everything you talk has to be believable. You have to be visible. And people who post at least once a week see a 2x more engagement on their posts. So even once a week, if you post, you see more engagement. So you have to be credible, visible, and of course, authentic. Be real, share your personal stories, and don't try to talk about topics which you don't know, preachy teachy. Don't be a professor. Position yourself as a thought leader or expert, but in a friendly, warm manner. So focus on networking for maximum impact, which means reaching out personally. I personally send at least 10, I comment on at least 10 posts per day. And out of that, at least 5 or 6 again respond. And then we talk on DM. And I try to do Zoom calls at least one per day, which means I'm meeting 6 new people through Zoom every single week. And I try to do personal meetups at least 2 to 3 per week. So this is the kind of interaction I'm doing on LinkedIn, and I'm posting every single day. Right. So we move on from the starting problem. I hope we've now got started. Right. So this is basically, I have to understand who are my customers, my decision makers, my influencers, where are they? That means which social media they are on. Of course, in this discussion, we are restricting ourselves to LinkedIn and Insta. How do I reach them? How are they accessing my content on the mobile or on the desktop? That's also important. From where are they accessing? Because I will render my content and customize my content based on how they see it. Who are my decision makers, gatekeepers? Who can help me reach them? My second connections, my first connections. Who can help me reach them? My friends. And how can my product make their life better? That should be there in your tagline. Most people's tagline says founder, CEO, fancy titles, designations, 10x your revenue, 5x your leads, and so on, which are not really believable unless they have proof and ratings and testimonials to support that. Basically, your product, your tagline should be about how you or your product can make the customer's life better, because that's what you're here for, right? Okay, so we now move on. Are there any questions so far? What does UVP and UVA stand for? Your company's unique value proposition. What is the unique value your company is offering? And your personal handle should be in sync with the brand voice and messaging that your company is conveying through the corporate handle. CVA is my own acronym: credible, visible, authentic, on LinkedIn, on all social media. Write a story, post on a job portal. Yeah, you hand it in and make it look professional. Absolutely, make sure it matches. Yes, I think I have a lot of experts here. Good, great. Anybody else wants to share any perspectives? Let's feel free. No problem. Make sure it matches what they are looking for. Okay, keep sharing. So Simon Sinek said very wisely that we have to start with the why. So why are you on LinkedIn? Are you here to look for partners? Are you here to look for collaborations? Are you here to look for customers? Are you here to look for leads, decision makers? Are you here to just get more followers and become a LinkedIn or an Insta influencer? Because your strategy and how you optimize your profile will change depending on why you're on LinkedIn. Right? Some people are very clear. I just want to increase my followers. Some people are there to get business and so on. Then, of course, you optimize. Your about should be your entire story about what you can do and not only what you are. So many people talk about, I am this, I am that, I'm CEO, I've done so many degrees, I've got so many fancy awards. I don't think that is really what is important for the customer. You can showcase that in your featured or in your licenses and certifications. You can talk about your awards anyway to build credibility, but about should be specifically about what you can do for the customer, not only who you are or your titles and designations. It should be about your story and your expertise. You, of course, need social proof. You need recommendations, testimonials, your licenses, awards, podcast links, your interview links. If you've been featured in the press, all these are social proof to build up your credibility. Like I talked about, credibility, visibility, authenticity, because you have to position yourself as a thought leader. Yeah, over 90% of B2B buyers are willing to engage with somebody on LinkedIn if they see them positioned as a thought leader. They already start trusting that person because of their content and their posts, because that's your voice on social media, your content and posts. And therefore, everything you say and do should be in resonance, in sync with your brand voice. And if you are your brand, then it should be consistent. Your brand voice should be consistent, and you should be saying the same things consistently to build credibility and showcase your value. You need to have a CTA, like in every other selling proposition. You need to have a CTA. And if you see in my profile, you will see under the tagline there is a CTA which used to say join my community. Now it says download my planner. And that CTA can be anything. You can put in a CTA or a link to your website, your company's website. You can put in a CTA to link to a showcase page. And a showcase page is a page which is different from your company's website, because it only showcases new launches, new products, or new features you want to talk about. And therefore, the customer only sees that showcase page. And even their feed is customized with information about that showcase product or that showcase feature. So, all the clutter of too much information on the net, the showcase pages help you to showcase what is important, customize your prospects feed, and provide only relevant information. So I hope the showcase page is clear, right? It is different from your company's page, because you want to showcase either a new product, a new feature, or a new launch. For example, I will be launching the Inspired Selling Workshop soon, and I will be launching a showcase page for that separately from the community page, so that people get customized relevant information on that. Should we add these links to the featured section? No, featured should be more about your interviews, podcasts, your speaking events, and so on. Tagline, we should add the CTA under the tagline. I'll show it to you. Join groups for visibility. Often people complain that we cannot connect with people. We have limited emails. We don't want to spend money on LinkedIn Premium. We don't have Sales Navigator. If you want to spend the least amount of money and get the maximum amount of reach, right? Maximize your reach with minimum cost, join groups or organize events. You can message DM anybody in the group without being connected to them. And it's like a soft connect. And you can nurture them by posting on the group, commenting on their posts on the group, putting valuable content on the group. So they will get to know you, and then you reach out to them. It's more like a soft connect rather than a hard push and direct sell. I talked about link to showcase page. I also talked about you, your expertise in the about. And in the experience part, you can talk about your company and the company's unique value proposition. So about should be your story, your expertise, and in the experience, you can talk about the company, because obviously you would have moved positions, so you can talk about that, the latest company where you're in detail. I'll show you some profiles which will make this clear. So as of now, we are still on optimize. We need to now go to, is LinkedIn the right platform for non-IT suite industry? Well, I think you should look at Sidhu. You should look at a LinkedIn handle of Native Foods. They were there in my event, a networking event a few days back, and look at their profile. Amit Gupta is their I've typed his name, is their CEO and co-founder, and this is Native Foods, right? You can go and check out. They do organic sweets made with pure cow ghee. So you can. LinkedIn is a good medium for that too, because you have P2B selling even there. Okay, so let's move on. Keeping track of time, can you open these just to get an idea, give an idea of, is it possible?
Separately. Just give me a second, please.
Unfortunately, the LinkedIn learning class doesn't is not complete without.
Just a second. I'll have them open.
Yeah, no problem. In the meantime, any questions, any doubts, anything you'd like to share from your experience, anything you'd like to ask, can these links be posted on chat? Good point. I'll try to do that.
I'll try to do that as well. I'm
I
just,
think you should try, because I may end up, kind of.
yeah, I'm just opening up the links. Just a second.
I think I can do that since I know the links. Okay, let me.
Almost there.
You're there?
Almost, yeah.
Who are you posting? Alice?
Just give me a second now. I'll just share my screen so y'all can all see. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
We can see Alice Hyman, and I was about to post her link only. So anyway, it's there up on the screen now. So you can see that she is the CEO, and she talks in her tagline. You can see completely what she's doing. She's talking directly to her TG and the decision makers, CEOs. You can bring a new spirit to your sales organization that will grow your sales and skyrocket your value. In one sentence, she's talking to her TG and addressing them in first person. What is your role? Your and you and somebody's name are the sweetest sounds in sales. I mean, for anybody. Everybody needs to feel acknowledged and validated. And when you refer to them by name or say you, they feel happy. And if you see a lot of Indians do not emphasize on you, and you see a lot of people from Europe and the US, they say, "How are you today?" And that emphasis on you makes you feel important. So here she is addressing her TG directly, saying, "What is your role in building a world class organization?" She's not used a link here, she only has contact info, but you look at her picture, that is very important. It's smiling, it is looking into the camera, it's a headshot, it's professional. She's using her branding behind her name really well. Sales talk for CEOs. She's talking about her podcast and therefore establishing her credibility. Another one I'd really like to show is Jen Allen, and then we'll go on.
Yeah.
I will show you mine last. Yeah. So Jen Allen, a lot of you might be wondering how to, kind of marry or merge your personal brand with professional. Will it not confuse people? Will I not overshadow that brand and so on? Look at this lady. She is chief evangelist at a company called Challenger, and she's also host of Winning the Challenger Sales podcast and a keynote speaker. You look at in one sentence, she's put in everything she does as well as promoted her company, and she's using her podcast, which is a sales podcast about how to win the challenger sale, in order to promote her company's products. Very effectively done. I interviewed her as a guest on my podcast, and now I will go on to her podcast, and this is another way of collaborating and winning on LinkedIn, where we all meet each other and call each other on each other's podcasts. So that way we all win. You look at the tagline here, winning the challenger sale. She's put a link to her website. And below, if you see in her experience, if you scroll down below, she's put her link to her podcast interview with someone else. That is establishing her credibility. So she's done all of this here, talked about her podcast, showcased her being called as a guest on other people's podcasts, as well as talked about the problems which the customer is facing in the background. In that 38% of companies, etc., lose deals because of this, etc., etc., and also the book on winning the challenger sale. Everything in one shot. I think this is a very effective profile, talking to your TG, showcasing your credibility as well as expertise, and not allowing your personal expertise to overshadow they are kind of complementing each other. Okay, we move on. I think the point is demonstrated well enough. So any questions here, any observations, anything you would like to say? All these ladies I've interviewed at some point or the other. This is a very interesting person, Heidi.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll go on to Heidi later. Who
okay.
you Okay, we go on to Heidi. Heidi also is another example of personal and professional. She runs a community, but she also works full time as a corporate professional as a senior VP in a company called Arise. She's founder of Girls Who Sell, which addresses similar problems to my community about increasing the talent pipeline for women in sales. So she's talking about all of it as well as her book in the background, which she's promoting. She's also talking about her author. And if you look at it, she's put a link to her corporate website, www.arise.com. Another example of uh, merging your personal and professional handles seamlessly. So, this is what I'm trying to say. A lot of people wonder how we can do both. It's possible. Her about is also very interesting, but we won't get into that now. We'll just move on to my handle and then close this handle session. shooting a shot in the dark, any real time feedback on the above. For real time feedback, I really need to look at your profile in detail. I won't be doing justice if I just, have a cursory glance and say that head of sales at Galleryfy, enabling brands to achieve their influencer marketing goals using technology, powerful data, and AI driven insights. A lot of big words here. My suggestion is simplify, simplify. And you are not only your title, you are about what you can do to help the customer get what they want. And that will come at the end of my presentation, that you can get anything you want in life if you only help others get what they want. I didn't say that, Zig Ziglar did. So help others get what they want, you will get what you want. So my suggestion is customize, keeping the customer in mind, or your prospect or your TG. Okay, this is mine. And here I am talking more about a community. Building a community is more an emotional connect, right? People join a community because they see like minded people and they see help and support there, especially women. They want to find their tribe, they want to find their people, and they want support in addressing the very real challenges of selling, which is why I'm talking about my beliefs and values, because people with similar beliefs and values are attracted here. I truly believe that sales is an opportunity to change the world, one customer at a time. And each customer's life we touch and impact and make a difference to and add value to is an opportunity to show them a better reality and to show them a new reality. It's a purpose and it's a calling. It's not merely a job for me. And I don't think that any person in sales should view sales as just a profession. Rather, it's a calling and an opportunity to change the world. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, what I do. And here, if you see, I put a link, download my sales planner. And of course, that takes me to my website. So, three birds, two birds with one stone. Visit my websites as well as showcase my expertise and so on. And if you look below, then you will find, you can look at that later, no problem. You will find a link to my podcast. And also in under featured, you will see all the interviews, including LeadSquared, all the speaking engagements or interviews, etc., which I'm doing. Interestingly, I want to tell you another trivia here, which is that I met Shibani also on LinkedIn. And though we are both in Bangalore, we are only virtual connects. And I hope we can be virtual friends. I mean, sorry, one on one friend, not virtual. And we are both in Bangalore, interestingly. But we've met on LinkedIn, connected on LinkedIn, and somehow struck a note. And obviously she was attracted, if I can use that word, to my profile because I showcased all that I do here, including my passion for sales and my passion for helping women to sell with confidence. Because I feel that when you get confidence in selling, it comes into your life too, and you get more confident in life, in asking for what you want, in negotiating for the value you deserve in all areas, at work, in life, in sales, with the customer, at home, everywhere else. So I'm talking specifically with respect to women. Now we move on. If there are any questions, I think we should. I'll just wait for a minute or two. Thank you so much. You liked my feedback. I fine for now. Okay. When people don't ask me questions, I wonder whether, am I going too fast? Just tell me if I'm going too fast. Or is it, there's a question. Okay.
No, I think good.
Oh, that is for you. Okay. What does your brand stand for? Now, I think somebody asked me about unique value proposition. The unique value proposition, I call that this the SSSUR formula. I use formulae for everything. I'm a science student, so we had to memorize lots of lengthy formulae, and therefore I use formulae for everything now. SSSUR, SSS, what does it stand for? You have to know what is your story, what is your brand story, what is your differentiated strength, what does your brand stand for? Those are the first three S's. What is the unique value you provide, and how can you change the client's life or your prospect's life through your brand or your product? Right. So again, we're talking about customization. Here, the best example, can anybody give me an example of who's used all these in their positioning and in their story? Any brand which you can think of, which has used all this. LinkedIn can be extensively used in B2B. What is your take on B2C? Any advice? I'll come to that. Tesla. Yes, good one. What is the single best thing you did for LinkedIn? Well, I published my newsletter. I think that it improved the quality of my audience because a lot more CEOs and CXOs subscribe to it than earlier. The quality of my audience went up in terms of seniority of profile. Okay, this is extremely informative. Amul Pool Company. Okay, yes, absolutely right. Amul is one brand where everything is consistent, their story, their strength, their voice. Absolutely. Maruti is another. And though it is not an Indian, completely Indian brand, it is now kind of occupied such a place of pride in India, right? What does their brand stand for? It's a value for money brand. Their positioning is clearly value for money. What is their differentiated strength? The strength is something which is internal to the company, and the value is what we provide to the customer. Their strength is their vast network of dealers and the fact that they are indigenously produced, which allows them to bring down their cost. And because of this, they are able to offer unique value to the customer, which is that they offer quick and reasonable service at a reasonable cost, right? So, quick and reliable servicing because they have a vast network of dealers, quick and reliable servicing at a reasonable cost. And it's positioned as a value for money brand. So their story keeps on talking about the number of cars they service, some 17 lakh or 18 lakh, the number of showrooms they have, everything which adds credibility to their claim of being a value for money brand which offers quick and reliable service at a reasonable cost. And that's how they change the client's reality, because believe me, I have a high-end car and the service is so pathetic. I feel sorry I even bought that car. Though the car gives me a lot of pleasure, the service experience really turns me off. So it just spoils the whole thing. And that is why how it has changed my reality, because earlier I would swear by this high end car and I would say there's no car like XYZ. And now I swear by Maruti. I have another which is a CS, which I swear by now. So that's how it's changed my reality, by the service and the experience. Right, somebody's finding that funny. You need to tell us what is funny. Royal Enfield, ICICI. Yes, I belong to ICICI Bank, so I would certainly agree with you, Sidhu, on that. Absolutely. Theirs is a more emotional appeal. Yes, so I hope you all like the SSSUR formula. Let me know in the chat whether you like it or not. Or if you have any formulae which you would like to share with me on how you can communicate the unique value and your differentiated strength. So we move on because we are just 10 minutes time we have. Now we will talk about how you can make maximum impact. Somebody had asked me earlier in your questions. Choose only one or two social media. Do not try to spread yourself too thin, which is why we are talking about, and all of which we are talking about apply to both LinkedIn and Insta, which is why I have put both the icons there. So choose only one or two and choose one as the primary and the second one as a supplementary medium. Since mine is more to do with corporates, I focus more on B2B and LinkedIn, and my minor focus is on Insta, though I post regularly there too, at least 4 times, 5 times a week. Showcase your social currency because that's what builds credibility, positions you as a thought leader. And obviously, people would like to engage with you if they see you as an expert or a thought leader. Showcase your reviews, ratings, testimonials, endorsements. Don't be shy to ask for endorsements, recommendations, reviews, ratings. Offer something more. Like I talked about the sales planner. Similarly, you have ebooks, you have videos, you have planners, you have industry insights, videos. You can reshare posts by industry experts on industry trends and insights. Post videos regularly. Images and videos bring 2x and 3x more engagement. Videos give the maximum 3x more engagement on your posts. So post videos regularly. Just like on Insta, Reels and Stories give maximum engagement, right? Similarly, so LinkedIn is going to come out with Stories soon, and it's only for premium users, but it's going to come out. And in in Insta, it is Stories and Reels which work. And again, can anybody guess which were my most popular reels on Insta? In the meantime, by the time you guess, we'll quickly go through this. Obviously, your post should be well researched, high quality, relevant. They should have all your contact information. relevant links. People post events without the links. If the links are in comments, say links are in comments. Avoid jargon, preachy teachy, because nobody likes to be spoken down to, right? We need to be spoken with, not down to. Use featured to showcase all your expertise, speaking events, your interviews, and so on. Even the posts which you want to draw attention to. So if you see my LinkedIn profile, the lead squared is on top. And tomorrow we'll have Kimberly Clark, which is my speaking engagement. Tomorrow it'll be on top. Use new newsletters to increase the quality of your audience and the profile you're reaching out to. Stories on Insta, reels on Insta. And like I already said, videos give 3x more engagement. So I had asked a question on what do you think got me maximum engagement, which reels on Insta. Infographics work, yes, absolutely, they do. Varying the kind of content, using carousels, using infographics, sometimes resharing posts which resonate with the kind of messaging you want to convey. Stalking your competitors, that's a very big favorite of mine. Yes, could be graphics. So nobody is able to guess which were my most popular Instagram posts. Well, they were the Bollywood reels. My take on Bollywood and how we can learn sales lessons through Bollywood. So I used Bollywood dialogues or songs. And then I talked about sales lessons we can learn from them. They were the most popular. I used to get 8,000, 9,000 views over there. And believe me, other reels don't even reach halfway there. Does putting up business statistics work for more sales? Yes, it does. When you showcase your company's achievements or when you showcase how well your company is doing with respect to others. If you're talking about banking specifically, it does. It does. When you talk about the name and when you talk about the profitability and the NPAs, it does help to showcase that your bank is doing better than others and can be trusted, because banking, just like all other products, but it's more about trust, because especially liabilities, people need to trust you with their money in a bank. Reels with trending audio, absolutely work. Okay, any questions? All right, we'll now move on. Engage and leverage. I think we've already talked about, anybody has any questions, we've already talked about most of this. This is my problem actually. I don't usually stick to what's on the screen. I i don't follow a rehearsed script. Okay, so one way to engage, which I want to talk about, is a lot of people are silent spectators on LinkedIn. We can't be a silent spectator either on LinkedIn or Insta. In Insta, they will do the heart, and in LinkedIn, they will do the like. And there are other buttons like support, like smile, funny, etc., which nobody uses on LinkedIn, and nobody comments. Nobody asks questions, encourages a discussion, comments on other people's posts. Especially when you see a post going viral, you must make sure you comment on it to get noticed. And especially when you see your competitor's post, especially your competitor going viral, you must make sure you have a very, very smart, insightful, well researched comment over there. Spend half an hour in researching, but make sure what you put makes sense. And everybody wakes up and takes notice. Believe me, the comments I put on someone else's post today, where she had talked about some networking event which we both went to. I put some comments on women in sales and why attrition is so high in sales and why women quit sales as a career. And three people read those posts and DM'd me and asked me, how should I join your community? Because I would like to engage with more women in sales and solve problems for women in sales. And all three of them have already joined. So that's the power of engaging on posts. I'm a big fan of following competitor pages, connecting with their connections, seeing what kind of posts they are doing, and doing similar content when it is trending or going viral. Of course, on Insta, we need to look at trending audio, trending reels, and then do similar. But I don't always believe it works in sales because some of them do not work. You want to see what works, what doesn't. Top posts on LinkedIn as well as Insta are hacks, how to, stories on both, uh, rather Insta, not on LinkedIn. Videos, images, inspiring content, infographics, somebody talked about. Images work better, they give 2x more engagement. You need to have a hook line in the beginning of the post because that is what will draw the attention. You have only 30 seconds to make the first impression in a face-to-face meeting, but in a virtual engagement, it is even less, just 5 seconds. People decide whether they want to read your post or not. So your hook line should be really attention grabbing. For example, I had I had put a hook line, are you living someone else's life? Maybe it's time to reclaim yours. That particular post got some 45,000 views. And I had put another post, are you letting your fears paralyze you? And at the end of it, there will always be a question so that you invite the audience to participate and engage more. That how do you deal with your fears, or what are your fears which have held you back so many years, for so many years, and how do you deal with them? Or you talk about what are your fears about sales, and definitely people will share. Once you share your personal story, people do share. My personal stories do the best. For example, are you letting your fears paralyze you? Was one of my personal fears. Are you living someone else's life? Was my story, and so on. Okay. Anything? Any questions so far? What is your take on B2C? Well, I think we need to use a mix of LinkedIn and Insta. We have to decide which social medium works for us. I'm focusing here on LinkedIn and Insta. I'm not getting into Twitter because I don't use Twitter. And I don't want to talk about something I don't use. But obviously, we need to choose the medium which works more for us. We cannot focus on more than two or three because podcasting is also a medium to get leads. Webinar is also a medium to get leads. And email marketing is also a way to get leads. So there are various, and social media are one amongst those. So my advice is that not more than two social media. And of course, Insta and this has different TG. Depending on your TG, you decide what you want to use. For the younger lot, I think Insta works. And for the product which are more aesthetic, which are more pictorial, highly visual product, beauty, health, the more B2C, I think that is good. But at the same time, you need to have a complementary presence on LinkedIn because that's where many of the decision makers are. And now the lines are blurring between B2B, B2C, as well as D2C, and so on. So there are slightly blurred lines. So therefore, your business strategy and your social media strategy depends on your TG and where they are, and how do they like to consume content, whether it's in the form of posts, whether it's a form of native videos and content, or whether it's in the form of reels, and so on. LinkedIn messaging. Right. So I think that one should avoid email, one should avoid spamming, one should avoid messaging people you don't know. First, you do the soft connect, either through groups or by commenting on their posts or by commenting on their comments on other people's posts, and so on. And do this for kind of nurture it for a week or two till they start noticing. Then they will start tagging you, they will start liking your posts will start appearing on their feed. They may even share if they like your posts, or they may like your posts, and then send them a DM about any business proposition you have, whether it is, a meeting, Zoom meeting, whatever it is. So basically nurture, soft connect, and then get into any kind of, I would never advise hard sell, but then get into any kind of selling. Okay, I think move on to the next. The reason we are talking about posting regularly is familiarity makes it easier for you to sell later. And they are more likely to trust you because we all know people do business with people they like and trust and are familiar with, right? You'd rather do business with a friend than with somebody unknown, and you'd rather trust a friend. So make yourself familiar, visible, be authentic, and it'll be easier. People who post weekly get 2x more engagement. And another useful trivia information here is that out of 850 million members on LinkedIn, can anybody guess how many people are posting regularly once a week? How many people are posting regularly at least once a week on LinkedIn? 1%. Very close. Sidhu seems to have all the information. No, not 5 million. It's 3 million. That's it. 3 million. And just 2 million publish on LinkedIn, right? So 3 million post only once a week. So that means I must be amongst the 0.00000 whatever who is posting every day. So you can really stand out if you post regularly. Just 3 million people, 0.5% of the LinkedIn users are posting uh, every week. and only 2 million are publishing articles or newsletters directly. So, which means that it is a very, very useful way of standing out from the crowd. Okay, enough of trivia. Industry groups really help you to connect, engage, and they also help you to understand what kind of problems your target audience is facing and what are their pain points, and to create hyper targeted value propositions. Because as we know, one size doesn't fit all and one pitch doesn't appeal to all, and therefore we need to create customized pitches and customized value propositions after understanding their pain points. And we should not join the groups where we are interested or which support our causes. We should join the groups which our TG is interested in, or where our decision makers are interested in. So it's important to understand them as people. And if we want to understand our decision makers, we have to look at their causes, interests, what they are volunteering for, because that will make us understand what is important for them. For example, if they are volunteering for SPCA, you know that they are animal lovers. So if there is an event happening in your city for dogs or for animals, which SPCA, PETA, all these people do, then you invite them there. So when you see their causes and volunteering, you will know who they are, what is it that they support, and what is important to them as people. And when you see the interests, for example, they like running or they like cricket, it will help you to establish commonality. And then you can probably, if you have tickets to an event of their interest, you can DM them. Or if you have a virtual event in an area where they're interested in, you can DM them and talk about attending the event. Also, make sure you are present in the events they are in, and there also you comment and you engage so they notice you. Make sure that you attend some competitor events to see what they are doing in their events. All these are ways in order to engage with your DMs without appearing stocky or spammy. I talked about viral posts of influencers where you should research and put a well researched, thoughtful comment there. You will get trending topics based on their posts. Similarly, on Instagram, anyway, in your feed, you get the trending reels and you get the trending hashtags. Send connection request to DMs mentioning a post you both liked, right? So this is one way of establishing commonality. Again, you know that people have this affinity bias. They like to deal with people who are similar to them, who have similar interests and similar values. So when you say that you both liked the post, it means that you both resonate with the same content and your values are similar. And if you talk about that post in your DM and say, oh, I saw that you liked it too and would love to discuss this more with you and so on, the response is likely to be more positive than sending a cold DM or a spam. So anything here? Any more questions, comments? How can we get these advantages as EPC based company? Can you please? We have a platform, but most of the time, I think you should DM me, Prasanna. You are asking a lot of things. You should DM me. Prasanna, please DM me later on LinkedIn. Okay, we move on. Did we cover the last one? Yeah, we talked about it. Okay. So finally, now everybody wants to know how we convert leads, right? How do you know after so many attempts and posting and everything and content sharing that you've got it right? You know you've got it right when you're receiving more follow requests or receiving more connection requests than you're sending. Initially, I used to be sending all the requests. Now I get more requests than I send, receiving more incoming messages. So your LinkedIn is becoming like WhatsApp, or your Insta is becoming like WhatsApp. So many comments, and you're going to it 5, 6, 7, 8 times because there are so many things happening. It's buzzing. Your opinion comments are sought after. People tag you in posts. They ask you for your comments. They like your comments. It's actually someone else's post, but since your comments are getting very, very popular over there and people are liking, loving, supporting your comments, that means you've got it right. People actually send you a DM and say, I would be grateful if you could comment on my post or seek your opinion. Your potential and existing clients can start tagging, commenting, liking, sharing. I had been following a company, Kotak Like, for nearly a year, and though nothing had worked out there, I used to like and share their diversity and inclusion heads posts. And slowly he started tagging me and he started liking and sharing my posts. So over a period of 6, 7 months, we built up this connection. And I've never met him, but we're just kind of LinkedIn friends, I could say. So that's how it is. And now, of course, there it's going to convert into a mentoring engagement with them. Speaker, podcast invites, you start getting earlier I had to approach people, now people approach me. You are mentioned in somebody else's post. I remember that there is a a digital magazine called Your Story. So I don't know whether people have heard of that. They cover stories of inspiring women who are doing impactful work for other women. And I'd been chasing them for nearly a year, and their founder was not kind of responding to my requests. And then finally, I continued posting, and I was in touch with a lot of other people. There was a request, a LinkedIn post from this Your Story assistant editor asking for recommendations, suggestions on women she should cover, inspiring women who are doing work for other women. And somebody else nominated my name and said, "Why don't you cover Chitra?" So this same person I had been following for a year who didn't show interest in covering me, now someone else has recommended my name. So this is what starts happening. And I was talking about the speaking engagements this week. All of them have come through LinkedIn. Um, so you can see the kind of results it's producing. So there's something in your company page where you can see home. If you go to your company page, you can see home, you can see analytics, you can see content. And in that you have under analytics, you have visitor analytics, follower analytics, and you have competitor analytics. And you can see which of their posts are doing well, which are getting more engagement, the engagement rates in the last week, last month, and so on. And based on that, you can also see how their posts are performing and customize your posts or tweak your posts and your strategy based on those analytics. So, for example, my visitor analytics tell me that 50% of the visitors to my website are sales and BD professionals, which means 50% are not. So I have to understand how best to get to more sales and BD professionals. But I'm getting this from my visitor analytics. And this is from the company page, not from my personal page. So any questions here so far? No. I hope y'all have not gone to sleep. Tell me y'all are awake. Shraddha Sharma. Sidhu, you seem to have all the answers. Why don't you DM me? Yes, I know Shraddha now. Yes, awake with you. Thank you so much. I hope you know her, Sidhu. Anyway, her assistant editor did get in touch with me, called Rekha. So it works. Yeah, met her. Great, nice. She's in Bangalore. Yes. I'll tell you an interesting story after this. I think you all need to wake up. Okay, we go on to the next. We've already talked about this. Post frequently, at least once a week. Use your about to promote your expertise and use your experience to promote the unique perspective your company offers on the problems you solve. Use lives extensively, they really increase engagement. Talk about pro bono because all people are interested in knowing that you're working for a purpose larger than yourself. Um, Personalized outreach works. Remain connected. I talked about Kotak Life, where I remained connected for a year and only now it's materializing. So this is a long-term game, building your profile and visibility and getting leads on any social medium. Leverage and opportunities to help your target audience. Refer, for example, I am a speaker, but when there are tech events or other events, which I don't speak about, I refer a lot of others. And in turn, they refer to me. So referrals work. We know that. Find a way to help them get what is important, because like I said, if we help others, then we can get everything we want if we help others get what they want. So give before you ask, not the other way around. Okay, we can move on to the next. Are there any questions in chat? Okay, I don't see taking notes, Meta. Okay, so now we have some new features. Anybody has any doubts on these stories I talked about in Instagram? They are already there. Reels are already there on Instagram. LinkedIn videos are anywhere between 10 seconds to 10 minutes. No, 30 seconds to 10 minutes long. Ideal video length is 2 to 4 minutes. And LinkedIn videos or shorter videos can also be used as reels. I do repurpose my content on LinkedIn and Insta a lot. I use them, in both places. Of course, Instagram is more visual, but I use it with a visual, with a very interesting creative. Creator mode is something which a lot of us should use, because only in creator mode you can get LinkedIn access to LinkedIn Live. You can create events directly and publish them on LinkedIn, so the notification goes to all your followers on events, and that way you get noticed, you are top of the mind, and you get more attendance in events. All those who register for your events, you can anyway DM, and you have them in your lead funnel. Publish your newsletter directly on LinkedIn. Another way to remain top of the mind. Audio events you can do on LinkedIn, which is very interesting. And these are all new features. Showcase page I talked about, where you can talk about a new launch, new product, new feature of your company, which is distinct from your company. It's available only for the corporate handles. From your personal handle, you can also respond as your corporate. For example, sales mentoring, I can respond to sales mentoring comments from my personal handle. So that's something good. I don't need to toggle and go between different handles in order to respond. Showcase page, like I told you, customizes the feed and enables you to provide relevant information on new products or new features to your audience. Groups and event sign-ups, you can send them personalized messages even without connecting with them, because otherwise it asks you for their email and how do you know them and so on. So these are some new features which I wanted to talk about. And I want to ask one more question, is that how many of you, yeah, this is my LinkedIn handle. How many of you, uh, can someone share the LinkedIn handle here? Are you customizing your URL or you're not customizing your URL? Is everyone here with me? Can anyone share your own? Yes, Chinar Raju. Good. Right. So you can put anything you like. I have put Chitra Singh Sampat Kumar. I can put Chitra Singh Vimenter. You can use it. For example, there's a very interesting person I met who put author Sherry. So we know that he's an author and so on. So you can customize this in your edit your profile. And yeah, Shivani, yes. So you can customize this handle to talk about who you are. So in your profile, if you go and say you edit your public URL, you can go and do that. You can also, if you are in creator mode, you can you can highlight what you talk about, which is the topics and the hashtags which you talk about. This will help your followers understand what hashtags to follow in order to get access to your content, so that they get easy access and it's constantly in their feed. If they follow those hashtags, this your all your content will have the hashtags anyway, which you put in your talk about. Now this talk about is available in creator mode. So what you follow is also important, because you get your feed based on that. So make sure you follow some of your competitors, some of the influencers, so on, so you get an idea about their posts. And what you're asking your followers to follow, which is there in creator mode, talks about, where you can put hashtag XYZ. If you see my talks about, it will be sales mentoring and so on. So it will tell your followers what are the hashtags they should follow in order to see you on top of their feed and get your content. Okay, anything else you all want to know? Ask. I think we've just got a few minutes. Few minutes. I see all of you have customized it, but somebody says A184A, you should remove all that. Syed Fahad, you should remove all that.
Yeah, I think we are kind of fast forward. So, any closing thoughts, Chitra? Thank you for so much for a great session. But any closing thoughts from you?
Yeah, so I think it is a long-term game. Like I said to all of you in the beginning, I was just reviewing my notes to see whether I had covered everything. This is a topic in which you can go on for hours and hours. But basically, I think this is a long-term game. It's not a one-day, one-man, overnight kind of fame you can get. A lot of people come and tell me, I want to build my following to 5,000. Believe me, it's taken a year for me to get from 800 to 9,000, and I want to get to 1,000 soon. So please connect with me. Yeah, as a salesperson, I should give you the CTA at the end of this session. So there shouldn't be any meeting without an objective, and don't end any meeting without a CTA. So my CTA to you all today is connect with me, because I am very, very interested in knowing what you all think about my content, and whether you appreciate it, any suggestions you have. And thank you so much for all your compliments. It's a long-term game, so be at it, and I'm sure that you can get a lot of leads and a lot of conversions from this. Believe me, I have, and it will work for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I know a lot of people here want to get in touch. So you already have Chitra's details, and don't worry about it. I will share it again over the email. So look out for an email from me. And feel free to forward any questions that you might want her to address. I will definitely forward them to her. So, thank you so much, Chitra, for giving us your time. Well, over an hour. So, thanks so much, and I hope to connect with you personally, not
Yeah,
virtually,
we'll
sometime
meet.
in Bangalore.
And whoever's in Bangalore, please join us. So
Sure.
join the
Yeah,
party.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We should do that. Totally.
Okay. Thank you so much. Had a lovely time. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you to Lead Squared and to you, Shibani and team. All
Sure.
of you, thank you so much for listening so patiently and giving your all your compliments here. Thank you and bye bye.
Thank you so much. Quick tip to the audience. I've got several emails during the course of this hour about the later sessions coming up in the week. You will get separate links, so you don't have to save this link. You will get a separate link every day of the week for the new session. Okay, everyone, take care. I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.